Good morning, Britain. Stopping the boats after more lives lost and hundreds still putting their lives at risk. Pressure is increasing on ministers to end the traffic. There's criticism this morning over the government's apparent failure to stop small boats crossing the Channel, with more than 500 making the perilous journey on the same day that 6 migrants died.
Well, the deaths certainly haven't discouraged people from attempting the journey across the Channel or indeed stop the criminal gangs who facilitate all of this. And despite action being taken by the government, it's clear that more needs to be done.
We'll be asking if Britain is letting these desperate migrants down.
And after that devastating fire hurricane, they're calling it, with 1,000-degree heat travelling a mile a minute across Maui, Hawaii's governor declares to the world, hey, this is what global warming actually looks like. The authorities continue their grim search for more bodies.
This is already the deadliest wildfire in America for well over a century, but the dead are still being counted. And with only 3% of the burn zone having been examined so far by the search teams, it's feared the death toll will only continue to rise.
Should babies be automatically given their mother's surname? We'll hear from one barrister who thinks that the person who carried the babies for 9 months, gave birth to them and breastfed them, should be the ones to give them their name.
And it's all rise for Duncan James. The Blue Star is going to be here with us all week with the latest entertainment news, including some breaking news about Barbie.
And it's a cloudy, wet start to the week, but the outlook is warming up, finally. Some signs of summer. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up. Good morning, Britain.
Monday, 14th of August, 2023. Live from Television Centre in London. This is Good Morning Britain with Kate Garraway and Richard Madeley.
Good morning.
Hello
Just
there.
gone 6 o'clock. Lovely to be here this morning. Lovely to see you.
Nice to be back.
You're looking very blonde and tanned. Have you been somewhere gorgeous?
Spent a little,
Can't be here.
Spent a little bit of time in France, where it is super hot. Not as hot as Italy and Spain and Yugoslavia and all that, but it was pretty hot. Listen, I want to ask you this.
Yes.
Would you be happy for your kids to be called Garraway?
Well, the Garraway name is sort of in danger of dying out because my father's brother. I mean, not on this show because I talk quite a lot, but my father's brother didn't have kids, and my brother has got daughters. So we gave Bill Garraway as a middle name.
But not a surname.
But not a surname. Darcy then kicked off and said, hang on, I want it. So she's taken on my mother's maiden name, King. I think it's because she likes the idea of having King in her name, because she's Darcy. But, yeah, so that sort of conversation has slightly happened, that feeling of wanting to keep, you know, the mother's side of the family going. But actually being a Garraway, I don't know.
Judy and I never really discussed it. Obviously, our kids are called Madeley. But just looking, I mean, we'll be talking about this later in the debate, but looking at the arguments that are going to be put forward for actually giving the mother's surname legally as the legal surname of the children, it makes a lot of sense. And I would be perfectly happy for our kids to be called Finnegan. You know, Jack Finnegan, Chloe Finnegan. That would be, you know, I wouldn't see it. What about you, Sean? Would it bother you?
Yeah, I wouldn't. So my wife's maiden name, that's Jones. I probably prefer Fletcher. I mean, Jones is nice, but there are lots of Joneses in Wales, where we used to live. So, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't feel as a bloke it has to be my name. No, not at all.
Me neither.
No,
I hadn't really considered it before, but now I am thinking about it. I just don't see that there's an issue.
No, people do it double barrel, don't they?
You can have that. Finnegan,
Jones, Fletcher.
Yeah.
But then what do you do when they then get married? You could end up with like 20
exactly.
people adding it on along the way. Let us know what you think. Do you have any strong feelings if you're a dad about the idea of it being your name? Do you have any strong feelings if you're a mum? Or, you know...
Yeah.
I quite like... In some ways, I wish I'd changed to Draper in a way because I haven't got the same surname as my kids.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And that sometimes feels a bit weird.
That's the woman's point, the
what people
barrister who's going to make this
Too
argument.
late now, though.
Good.
Shall we talk... Let us know what you think on that. And we're going to talk a lot as well about our main news of this morning. Government Minister Steve Barclay is going to be here talking health issues, because, of course, he's the Health Secretary, and also about migrant crossings, because more than 500 people crossed the Channel on small boats on the same day. 6 migrants died after their boat sank off the coast of France.
Now, if you think about it, 500 migrants in one day, that's a barge full, isn't it? That's how many the barge can take in one day. And obviously the tragedy of the deaths on the same day, 6 drownings, has put the government under more pressure to find some kind of way just to halt these incredibly dangerous attempts at crossing the Channel, as more than 100,000 migrants have now crossed in small boats in the last 5 years. We're going to speak to Nick Dixon, who's actually in Dover for us. Nick, the government continues to defend its whole migrant strategy, despite people still making the journey. And, of course, at the centre of the strategy is this suggestion that things like the barge are a deterrent. But it's clearly not working, is it? If you've got 500 people, as I say, a barge full coming over in one day, and many of them set out after news of these drownings had filtered back to France. So deterrence isn't working, is it?